I realized that there were a lot of people moving to the area that didn't know anybody. They didn't have a realtor. And I was kind of a trusted person because I had started the Facebook group. So I put in my profile that I am a local realtor. So if you need help, I ask them questions when they join the group. Are you moving to the area?
All right. So in this interview, I talked to Nikki Klein out of Boca Raton, Florida. In the interview, she goes on to say how all her business comes from a Facebook group that she started. She is a huge introvert and she wanted leads to reach out to her, and she loved helping the community. I absolutely love Nikki. She's a good friend of mine. She was nice enough to do this interview, and I think you're going to learn a lot. This is something that you can do in any market, so definitely watch this interview all the way. And if you want to partner with me and learn how to get business from YouTube and Instagram, absolutely for free, book a call with me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and by the way, please subscribe to this channel. All right, so I got my friend Nikki Klein here. Nikki, me and you were like on a social media panel. We're partners at Place, and I had heard of you and everything. Of course, you're like famous all across the world, I'm sure, as you're aware. But I'm trying to get her ego up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta like get her going.
What have I done?
I was sitting there, and then I was talking about YouTube, and then someone else was talking about Instagram, and then you were talking about Facebook groups, and I was like completely blown away. And then I need to do this when I get back to my market. And of course I didn't do it because I couldn't like figure it out or whatever. So you got to tell me a little bit more, like what made you like start a Facebook group, and like how did all this like come about, and then like how did you get business? I know that's a bunch of questions, but
it's a bunch of questions. So I started my Facebook groups because I moved to a new area. I didn't know anybody, and I wanted to kind of get to know the area. And Facebook groups at the time, which was about 8 or 9 years ago, they were prevalent. Right. And so it was a different time. I had actually created a Facebook group in the area that I had lived in previously. So I knew that it worked because when I was in the other area, one of the things that happened, I had about 500 or 600 people in local Facebook group, and I needed speed bumps put outside my house because people were driving like crazy. And I rallied the Facebook group. And like 2 weeks later, they put speed bumps.
So real quick, like where did you move from, and then where did you move to? Like,
I moved from Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, and now I live in Boca Raton, Florida.
Nice. Okay, so then like you literally just didn't know anybody.
No, I didn't know anybody. Anywhere.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Because I'm originally from London, England. In case that hasn't translated.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird New England accent. I was thinking in the back of my mind. Yeah. So
yeah, I got the twang of it. But yeah,
so like you started like one like in Connecticut because there was like the speed bumps, and you're like you needed speed bumps because everyone was like flying through the neighborhood.
Yeah, and I started. Well, that wasn't why I started the Facebook group. I started the Facebook group because I'm actually a total introvert and didn't really want to leave my house to go out and meet people. And I was like, oh, I'll just be behind the screen and meet people, because there've got to be other people that want to meet people without leaving their house.
Right.
And it just one thing led to another, and it kind of boop exploded.
That's awesome.
So when I saw the power of Facebook groups in Connecticut and I had to move to Florida, I didn't have to move. I got to move to Florida.
Right, yeah, definitely not a bad idea.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I decided to create a Facebook group again, and it was the snowball effect. People really wanted the same thing that I wanted. A lot of people move, they don't know anybody, and it was just a really good way to bring people together.
So the first thing I guess would be like, what type of Facebook group did you start?
I started a community Facebook group. I actually run, 50, 60, 70, I don't know. I have a lot of Facebook groups now that I run, but some of them are inactive, and then I'll like reignite them.
Right. Are there like 2 or 3 that are like the best ones or anything?
Yeah, I have like 2 or 3 that are really solid, that are consistent. I have a Boca Raton community Facebook group, which is pretty awesome. And then there was such a demand in that. I have about 30,000 people in that group. Yeah. And then I kept seeing these posts for people asking for babysitters. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to create a Facebook group for babysitters in the local area. And so we got a lot of college kids that came in that wanted to get babysitting that provide babysitting services.
Yeah.
And then the parents needed the babysitting services. So we have about 18,000 people in that group.
That's crazy. So like how did you, let's just say you started like Boca Raton Living or something. Like how, and you didn't really know any people. Like how did you start inviting people like into it?
So what would happen is, I knew some moms from school. So I originally would invite them in. I told everyone to invite their friends. And
Right.
back then, the algorithm was a little bit different. So they were
Yeah.
really ramping up Facebook groups. And so they
Right.
were putting it in everyone's news feed, like, oh, join this group, join this group. And so I had a lot of people joining early on, and it was really a snowball effect. I made sure that I really added value to those groups, that I was providing information that other people didn't have. I would talk about new restaurants or new buildings that are coming in, or the road work that was happening, anything kind of breaking news, any events that were happening. And so people would join the group knowing that they could get this breaking news information from my group.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I kind of like do that on Instagram, and that works well. Like I follow like some of like the business, like DC area business news. A lot of
Right.
people don't even know about it, and then I like post about it. And then other day I saw someone kept taking like my screenshots, which I didn't really care, and then they were putting in a popular Facebook group here. And I was like, man, I need to be the guy giving out like, because it's like really like you're almost becoming like a local news reporter, at that point.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
like,
And the
so
members
you go in there,
actually,
right, and you invite all these people, and then like people start posting, and then like, how did that in turn like to real estate deals for you?
so I actually started my Facebook group before I became a realtor.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. And so when I became a realtor, I realized that there were a lot of people moving to the area that didn't know anybody. They didn't have a realtor. And I
Right.
was kind of a trusted person because I had started the Facebook group. So I put in my profile that I am a local realtor. So if you need help, I ask them questions when they join the group. Are you moving to the area? And
Yeah, kind of like if you like, because I know like if I join one, it's like don't talk about this, and then so like in that like sign up, you would put like, are you needing a realtor or something?
exactly,
Oh, that's a
exactly.
dude, that's a genius idea.
So yeah, so we capture everyone's data when they come into the group, and we reach out to them. When I first started, I would, reach out to everybody individually and say, hey, I saw you wanted to join the group. Are you moving to the area? Can I help you answer any questions? And oh, by the way, I'm a local realtor if you need any help in that respect.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Like, what do you do? We know it's like funny. Like, right after my wife had a baby, she kept talking to me, and she's not really active on Facebook, but she was like, yeah, so and so's got this going on, and so and so's got that going on. And I was like, how do you even know all this? And then she said, oh, I don't know. Right after I had the baby, someone added me to like a Prince William County women moms like club. And I was like, so like, I guess from that, I was thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn it, I wish I could get in that somehow. You know what I mean? But then I was like, do you think it would be smarter, like for someone like me who doesn't have one, to try to get in with like someone who has a group, or just create my own and just compete against them, maybe?
Well, I don't think that it's necessarily a competition thing, right? Because your
Right.
energy that you bring to the group is going to be very different than somebody else's. And they're going to resonate differently with yours than they do with this one. And I don't know how many realtor run groups there are. So
Not
you really,
many. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's not really a competitive thing. It's more of like, what is the value you're bringing? For me, it's really a lot about giving back to the community, because a lot of people in my group, they want to give back and they don't know how to do it. And so I get
Right.
to be the vessel that kind of, we collect toys for tots and they can bring it in. And in addition to bringing the toys into the office, I get to say hi and introduce ourselves as the real estate team, the local real estate team in the area, and talk about real estate when they come in.
Yeah.
So there are different things that you can bring to the table that other groups just aren't going to
Right.
be doing,
100%. Like you have
you know?
inside track on like, oh, this is the average days on market, or like this is one thing I
Exactly.
really saw that people care about when I'm talking like on YouTube is like the average sales price. And then, but I kind of like, and you can sure use this to Facebook too, is like I'll kind of play like I'll say like, oh, something really vague. And I know like half the people will be like, that's insane. And the other half will be like, that's amazing, but it gets a lot of engagement. Like, what do you do as another like realtor, like try to come in and like infiltrate it and be like, try to take over? Do you like say, hey, this is my
Oh,
group?
no,
Or,
I don't allow realtors in my group.
that's a good idea. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, I've had certain situations where people will ask questions totally unrelated to real estate. And then the realtor's like, well, if you're moving here, I can help you. And it's
Right.
like, no, they just wanted to know when they move, like who the best landscaper is. It's got nothing to do with real
100%.
estate.
Yeah.
And so I found that was happening a lot, and people were messaging me saying that people are DMing them. And it was just, I was like, you know what?
Plus, you don't like know who that realtor is or like what kind of service they give too, you know?
Right. And I do consider it kind of like my own private database.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? I wouldn't
100%.
just, it takes a lot of time to cultivate a group that size and to manage it. It's like a
Yeah,
full-time
that's
job.
like a full-time job, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things that kind of we created it and people are welcome to create their own.
Yeah, you know, it's like funny. Like the most popular one in my area is run by like an auto shop, and you would have no idea, but the guy won't let anyone else talk about like their auto company in there. And one day,
Yeah,
like I
sure.
figured it out, and then if I was like, man, people are always ranting and raving about this like auto shop in here. And then I figured it out. I was like, dude, that guy. And then I said to somebody, I was like, who runs this? And they're like, oh, the guy that owns the tire shop. And I was like, that thing has like 50,000 people in it. And I was like, man, he has a lot of power and influence. So like on a good, let's say like it's a really good
I
week.
would be
Like how many,
interviewing him, Chris.
what's that?
I would be interviewing him, get him on your show, interview him and build that relationship.
100%. Yeah, dude, like you're right. Exactly. I'm gonna write that down after this. Like how like on a good week, like how many leads can you get? Because I imagine they're good leads, right? It's not like you're cold
Yeah.
calling.
Well, we
Yeah.
get I would say 30 to 40 people requesting every day to join the group.
Right. Nice.
And so they have to fill out the questions in order to enter the group.
Right.
It's kind of like that's pretty much
And then
not
like
all.
how many would you say like might say, yeah, I need some real estate help?
Um, that's a good amount. I mean, I would say we get a solid like I would say 10%.
Yeah, I
But
mean that's pretty good, right? Like
which
one,
is
even
good,
if it was
but
one a day, that's good, right?
correct.
Yeah,
And it's also a lot of people like already live in the area, but they don't have a realtor or they're
right. Yeah,
real estate orphans. So as long as we're touching them, keeping them posted on what's going on and having that connection and communication with them, we're pretty confident that when they do go to buy or sell, they'll reach out to us.
yeah, Hunter. I mean, like
We
I
haven't
like
reached
it
out to
too
them.
because yeah, I like it too because it's like a lot of people when they join my team will always tell me like I don't know anybody, which I know they really do. But then I think for that, like even if they're not like ready to buy, then like you're in front of them so much, so they're gonna start to think about you. You know, like you run the group, you got good personality, all that. Like, what do you do if someone gets in there and like they're just negative all the time? Like I see in mine, like we got like a big issue with these like data centers coming in. Like people getting like full-fledged arguments in there. Like, do you like just shut it down or do you just let it
We
go?
don't have any of that.
You don't have too much like like political arguments or anything.
I don't allow politics, religion, or vaccinations. And that
Yeah,
cuts
good
it all out.
call. Yeah,
Cuts everything out.
yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have any of those
Good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
drama.
Yeah, then you just like shut it down and it just doesn't even happen, you know.
No,
You just like so you do you have to like approve each post?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes total sense because someone says
Yeah.
something wacky or racist or something, you can obviously just like
Oh, yeah. No. There's a zero tolerance bullying, like discrimination, nothing. We don't allow any of that stuff. But the
right,
people who know it, like we have a very tight knit, especially the people who came in from the beginning. If
right,
there was anything like that, they would immediately report it because they
right.
know what the culture is of the group and it's supposed to be a place where people feel safe.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize too, like especially like if you're in real estate, like people enjoy moderating groups like that. Like there's people out there that like to be involved and like watch what's going on and like
Oh,
moderate it. So
yeah,
I'm sure you have people helping you with that.
I do. Yeah, I have a lot of amazing community members that help and chime in and help manage it.
So like if I went on there and I said, yeah, I said, yeah, I do need some help. Like, and I said, yeah, I'm moving to Boca Raton. Like, would you personally hit me up? Would it be a team member?
It would be a team member.
Oh, cool. So then like they work with like someone on your team. Has any ever like, yeah, I like that because I feel like you're not like one of these people. It's like, it's got to be me and they need to know me. I think some agents get stuck on
I'd
that.
rather it not be me.
Yeah. Cause you're introverted. Yeah. Even though you do a really good job on stage. Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, no.
that's good. So then like your team runs with it and then like but you're just kind of like managing the group and all that.
Yeah, I'm just, being the voice, I guess. I'm being the voice in the face
100%, yeah.
so that people know what's happening in our area. I'm like I said, I was really big about making sure that we're giving back all the time. So I'm working with a lot of nonprofit organizations to make sure that we're helping the community. I want to push the community forward with giving back. I want the kids to be part of the community.
Yeah,
I want them to
definitely.
understand what it means to come from service and to help other people. So that's kind of where I like to be in the
100%. Yeah.
right. And my team, is really super busy and awesome on the back end, just helping people. Like when it comes to real estate, I obviously do participate in the real estate side of things as well.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I
Yeah.
haven't been that vocal. I don't really talk about real estate in my group yet.
Yeah.
Once I feel so, I'm all into energetics, and I just haven't felt the energetic pull to like go in there and start talking about real estate. But once I do, it's gonna be pretty powerful.
No, I like that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of the like I don't do that either. Like I don't go walking around talking about real estate, but then like I'll post on social media. But then I
Yeah.
feel like people just kind of know like me from that. But I'm not walking around being like, come buy or sell. Like I'm kind of like in the
Yeah,
same
no.
with you that I don't like to call people and be like, do you want to buy or sell a house today? Like that's just like not my nature, you know?
Right. And I see why I listen, I understand why people do it. It just isn't, it doesn't resonate with me.
Right.
I much prefer the organic, conversational type of, prospecting or just a discussion, just having
Yeah,
a conversation with a
100%.
friend, somebody who wants to move here, because it's kind of like when you go into a house and you're taking a buyer around, there's nothing that you say that's going to convince somebody to buy a house. Either they feel it and they want to be in it, or they don't, right? So it's kind of
Right.
the same energy.
Yeah, 100%. It's like cool stories, like not a good story actually, but there was like McDonald's here. Like every time I would go and get a drink, there's like the nicest girl ever worked there, right? And then in our Facebook group, someone was like, "Did you guys know that the so and so at McDonald's passed away?" And it was like a young girl, right? And everyone was like, "What?" And then everyone was so shocked. And then basically, long story short, like the group got together, paid for her funeral because her family didn't have a lot of money, and then everyone like went. And it was like somebody who worked. It was just a girl that just didn't have much, and that's like definitely the power of those communities.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
It's definitely, if it's done correctly and in the right way and you've built a culture, it's unstoppable,
right.
really.
Yeah,
I was going to say earlier, the mayor is in my group as well, which is
nice.
pretty cool. Yeah. So I see him at events and he knows who I am just based on the fact that, he's part of our group. And it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you have a lot of people don't realize that like the local media's kind of lost their influence, like especially like in my market, I don't know about yours, but they're like down to like one or two staff and it's like they don't have much influence. It's almost like people like you that have a group or are good on Instagram or like the ones that have the influence. I'm sure the mayor is going to be better off getting in front of like you who can get in front of 30,000 people or
Right.
whatever. So like
Achievement
if
stuff.
you lost your damn mind and you were like, I'm moving to Virginia, let's say my town's called, so like I'll use this as a good example. Like, so my area is called Northern Virginia, but that's huge. So would you niche it down more to like, say, Prince William County living or Manassas living? Like, how would you niche? Like, how would you go about it?
So it totally depends on how you run your business.
Gotcha. Okay.
Depends on, what you're looking to get out of it. If it's
Right.
exclusively for real estate sales, for me, I think people can smell that the same way that you can feel it, right?
Right.
What people need to recognize is that I do things the way that resonates with me. So
Right.
if somebody was creating a Facebook group because they want to sell real estate, I'm going to feel that immediately.
Right.
But if
Yeah.
they're creating a
100%.
Facebook group to connect with people and, make something better in the community, I'm all in. Like, sign me up. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I come from when, I see a need and I feel it. So, we have like Boca moms and special needs kids. We have Boca single moms of Boca. We have
100%.
we
Yeah.
have lots of little subgroups from the bigger group because I saw a need for it and created the community for it, because everyone wants to be part of a community of like-minded people, right?
Yeah, 100%. I like it too because you're not coming into it like, hey, I got to get something from these people. It's like you're coming from a place of value.
Right. And it's like the law of give and receive, right? It's
Right.
like,
Yep.
it just isn't it. It's just how the universe works.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, 100%. Well, this is like really helpful. I mean, I think at the end of the day, too, like they definitely have gotten away from like business pages, Facebook, and they still push groups heavy because around here they're always suggesting groups for me to join, and I even get like notifications of like random groups that I'm not even a part of, and it's like this is activities going on and all that because obviously
Right.
their main goal is to keep people inside of Facebook, right? And I mean
Sure.
that's what and the other thing with Facebook too is like like people in being in real estate, like groups that we're part of, they're always trying to get us off Facebook. And be like,
Yeah.
you guys need to go, like, especially at place, like you guys need to go on our message board. And we're like, no, dude, everyone's just like naturally in Facebook. At the end of the day,
Well,
that's
because
what.
you're in there all the time and it's right. Facebook wants to keep you in there
Yeah,
and they encourage growing. I'm actually part of Facebook's um, group for Facebook admins.
nice,
So
awesome.
I'm in a group, there's like 15,000 of us, where we talk all the time about the pros, like what's happening, what we want to change, the different things that are going on within everyone's Facebook groups and how we can improve them. So there's definitely a pull to keep us connected within Facebook.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good thing. They put me and like their creator one and they do a good job. Like they'll hit me up and be like, what can we help you with or whatever. And like I'm in their creator group. So like but like you said, it's like their number one goal is to keep people on there and the groups definitely help. Well, this is like really helpful. So anything I can do for you. So you're located in Boca Raton. I hope I have a ton of referrals down there. So I definitely will hit you up.
Love
But since
it.
you're such an introvert, I guess I'll hit you up on Facebook
Yeah, hit
Messenger.
me up on Facebook groups, DMs. That's
Yeah, I'll
awesome.
DM you on Facebook. Yeah. I really appreciate it. Again, like you let me do this interview with you.
Thank you for having me.